Lads, lassies, heroes. If you've been following the series from zero to hero, at this point we're essentially heroes, assuming you've learned everything along the way. And I really hope that it has helped you progress your riding, because that's the whole game and the aim of this. Now that said, there's still one trick to learn, and you can actually learn this one before you learn any inverts. A lot of people do. That's up to you, particularly if you're scared to do a flip, which I feel like some people have a mental barrier. The 360 could be for you. And I've let the cat out of the bag. Today we're going to learn how to do a heel side 360. Now personally I think the heel side 360 is the easiest one to learn. At the end of the video I'll show you some toe side 360s just so you can understand what it is. But I'm going to spend my time here teaching you how to do the heel side 360. So without further ado, this is Zero to Hero. It's brought to you by O'Brien Wakeboard, Centurion Boats, Roswell Marine, and of course me, David O.C. Let's get into the last episode. Okay, so the heel side 360, it is what it says it is on the tin. It's a heel side approach and it's a 360 degree spin. Now, there's a couple secrets to this that will help you dramatically. Personally, I don't think you should ever learn this one wake. I think you can, but I wouldn't advise it. I just maybe would suggest shortening your rope 5 feet, slowing the boat down a little bit. But that's more for the noggin or for your brain than it is for any specific reason. Now, in terms of how wide you go away from the wake, you would take the same approach as you would on a heel side 180 wake to wake. If you don't know how to do that, A, you shouldn't even be trying this, but B, the video to that is up there. Now, you begin your edge back in. Just like any spin on a wakeboard, it's all about going up first and then spinning. If you try spin off the wake, you're going to lose your balance. It's going to get confusing. So instead, what you want to do is you want to get up in the air. You want to push up with 2 hands, be nice and high. And once you are, you want to pull the handle and your hip together. That's going to initiate the spin. And you want to do that with 2 hands. You're going to follow it around and you're going to reach for the handle. You're going to bend your knees in landing, look back to the shore you came from, and bada boom, bada bang, you've done it. Now, some specifics, right? If you, on the takeoff, drop your hips, you're going to struggle to stay on axis. So it's really important to stand up tall first and then bring that hip and that handle together with 2 hands. Because if you take one hand off, the rope starts to get away from you, and then you can see it's really hard to reach for the handle. Whereas if I keep everything nice and tight, you can get it much, much easier. Tip I actually advise people doing with this is getting some sort of bottle, maybe a bottle of water or a bottle of milk, and tying it to the end of your rope and actually just spinning it around. It gets you really familiar with the handle pass, and it's a good little trick that you can kind of learn it without crashing, which helps quite a lot. Another one is to do the 360 on the surface. If you do this, then make sure that obviously when you're spinning front side, you want to lean on your heels, and then when you go to the handle pass, shift that weight to your toes. And then hopefully all these little tricks and tips combined should help. Another good one is actually to learn on the cable first off a kicker. It can make a big, big difference. But we'll be getting to that maybe later in the season. Now, that is essentially the last tutorial. I'm also going to just show you some clips of doing a toe side. A big tip there is, of course, always go up, spin, and then kind of don't spin on the takeoff. And of course the blind landing could come in useful for that one. Now I hope you've enjoyed this series. This isn't necessarily the end of it, but it's the end of this section, which has essentially taken you, in my opinion, from being a complete noob to the sport to being a good level intermediate rider. And maybe down the line we'll go from intermediate to pro. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please make sure to subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family about it, share it with them on social media. It would make a big, big difference to me, and I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.